And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to IT Career in Australia live stream. And tonight's topic is do's and don'ts of landing your next IT job. So thank you so much for finding some time this evening to join our live discussion. Please make sure, as usual, introduce yourselves in the comments, let us know what you do, and join our conversation with your comments and questions. If you're new to my live show, I'm Jana Martins. I've recently entered IT industry myself, so I'm passionate about learning more and also share my new findings with you on this YouTube channel. So again, tonight our topic is do's and don'ts of landing your next IT job. And Shawn is going to share his story, his tips, give you a lot of interesting insights, especially about interview process, and top advice on what you need to concentrate if you want to succeed in your IT career. So obviously, incredibly relevant topic for those who are especially looking for a job at the moment. So make sure to share it with your colleagues and friends who need to hear this. Again, please say hi in the comments, because if you don't say hi in the comments, I don't know what you hear and I don't like it. So I like to, talk with real people. So before I pass it on to Shawn to introduce himself, I just want to quickly remind you that we're going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you want to watch replays, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, IT Career in Australia. I'm going there live every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time, with various experts from my network. And we're talking about all the things around IT career, job search, and specifics of IT industry in Australia. So you can also join my meetup group to make sure you get notifications and you can register for upcoming discussions. And also, again, we're going to answer all your questions from all the platforms, if the questions on the topic, obviously. So please make sure ask as many questions as you want. And the most active participants also receive a nice surprise at the end of the stream. So please also use this live stream as your opportunity not only to learn new information, but to network with people in IT industry. So Smail is here. Hello, everyone. Bibi is here. Hi, Jan and Shawn. Brell is here. Perfect. So guys, again, make sure to say hi. Maybe if you're looking for a job, let us know that you at the moment looking for your, next IT job. And Shawn, please, now to you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Jana. Hi, everyone. My name is Shawn Nikookar. I'm working in IT industry for more than 22 years. And I had a chance to collaborate with great teams, organization, and I have worn different hats in IT and non-IT environment, most as a management and consulting. At the moment, working as a manager of the business system and integration at R-Wave, and also I'm a founder of two businesses, the Inside Out Skills and Stakes, and which helping organization to level up their skills related to life skills especially, and collaborating with businesses to improve the stakeholder experience and engagement. The reason that I think this topic we wanted to provide today is during working with people, especially for hiring process, I saw a lot of challenges that unfortunately stop people to get the job that they deserve. So I hopefully will try to share a couple of points today that help you to land a job that you like. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn. And Jason is here as well. All the regulars is here today. Here you go. Good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you for, being with me every Wednesday night. So let's get straight into it. You, I guess, already mentioned, why this topic is important for you. But maybe just tell a little bit more about, your experience Did you always help people with the job search? Have you been like hiring manager and for a lot of positions? So just give us a little bit overview about yourself.
Sure. Related to the role of hiring manager, yes, doing for a long time. I have worked with different size of team from 3 to maximum 100 people in my team and the department that I manage as a executive director. So I had a chance to hire people in the business analyst, development, test, user experience, application support, the different role if we want to talk, and mostly related to the project environment. Also, I'm collaborating with RMIT in Melbourne as a career mentor for students to help them to actually find a career path and the job that they want. And before COVID, part of the business, we actually help people to find the next ideal job, which we could successfully help people from 12 countries to find a job or define the career path that they wanted to have.
Perfect. Okay. So, looks with like endless years of experience here. So, guys, if you in your journey of landing your next job, make sure to ask questions because you have your chance, your questions answers in real time. But Shawn, let's just start from the beginning. Yeah. So, yeah, where did the people start when looking for a job? So,
Sure.
what's the first thing we need to consider?
That's a great question. I think because the finding a job is we all familiar with that one. It's not a new things that we want to do. We know about the process from especially from high level. If we want to have a same language and make it simple, we want to go from point A to point B, which we are looking for a job and we want to have a job. So the process is very clear to start this journey. However, one thing which is very important is the time that we want to actually look for a job. Unfortunately, based on my experience hiring and even working with people, they look for a job. Most of the times people waiting till they finish the contract or something happens, then they said, oh my God, I need to find a job.
Find a job.
And that's a challenge that makes a lot of problems. So they jump, prepare the resume as much as they can, and try to actually, hopefully, they find a job before finishing their contract. Especially, we have this challenge for people who work as a contractor rather than permanent. One thing here we need to consider is this is a journey, and even especially for people they don't have a job. When I work with them, that was my advice, that you need to look at that as a full-time job, because your job is to find a job at the moment. So you need to take it seriously. You need to spend the time. You need to prepare. You have discipline. That's the concept that we need to understand. Even when we have a job and we look for another job, we need to come with some level of a strategy, clarity to be able to be successful.
And I also noticed you have like a 3 dots there, having which job. So what's the dots there for?
Yes, that one is a tricky part. That part is the way that people actually define the job that they want to have. For most people, is that I want to have a job. Why? Because my contract is finished, or for any reason, I need to find another job. Even I have a permanent position, I need a job to pay my bills, which is okay. That's fine. But in reality, we can actually fill that blank with I have an ideal job, which we all love to have. But when we talk, or based on my experience, most of the people, 98% at least, they wish to have an ideal job. If they, oh, I love to have a job, good pay, and a good position, good organization, but just wish. If we want to have an ideal job, we need to have a clear steps, do something different to be able to make it happen. Otherwise, we just end with fill out that three dots with have a job.
But I guess that's a kind of a problem sometimes. It's kind of like a catch-22. I need a job to pay the bills. I'm not sure if it will be my ideal job, but looking for ideal job seems like a full-time job. So I guess what's usually is your advice? Shall people try to make this strategy to find this ideal job, or take a job and then make a strategy to find the ideal job?
Yep, exactly as you mentioned. Excuse me. When we talk about the ideal job, the fact is that it's more related to mindset. It means that we accept we deserve to have an ideal job. The job that we love to do, the job that we pay based on our knowledge and expertise. So first of all, it's a shift in mindset that we need to have. And unfortunately, we have never trained in a school or university for that one. We just train to be a good employee, have something to receive money to pay our bills. And when we have that shift, the next part is that preparation. The fact is that when we talk about the job, especially ideal job, it is not about the finishing the contract. We need to prepare all the time, because we go to the networking, we go to any type of events, reading articles, something, we see advertising and say, oh my God, this job is perfect for me. I can apply. But because I don't have a prepared resume, I need to work on my cover letter. So it's normally it's procrastination that we don't apply for that one, because so it takes time and who accept me. These two concepts, as a mindset and preparation, are vital to be successful, to fill out that gap with ideal job. So we don't need to wait for the time that we need a job. We need to update and all the resume, everything that we have, and prepare to be sure if something happens, if we see an opportunity, we are ready to apply.
And I guess it's a fair point. Majority of people will update their resume with the recent job only when they're looking for the next job. Where probably, yeah, as you mentioned, in reality, as soon as you're starting a new job, you can already update your resume. So you're
Exactly.
basically ready.
And
So yeah, yeah.
yeah, and because you don't have a time, and normally you are, especially if because the market, you cannot find a job all the time. The market has ups and downs based on the peak of the time that you, even for IT, we know that when we talk about the IT market, the time between February to June is the best time. For example, at the moment, the market is hot and a lot of job opportunity available. And then between July till almost November, it's very quiet. And then November till mid of December, again, the market is really good. So when we are not prepared, so we are desperate, and we just try to prepare something to click on the apply button for a job, and unfortunately we miss a lot of opportunities.
Why is actually, so you mentioned it's a peak between middle of November and middle of December. Is there any particular reason why it's like a peak on there?
Because Okay, but for if we talk about the November, almost I would like to say that from mid of October actually,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
at the end of the year, an organization try to actually find the resources that they have for the next year. Most of the contract finish in December, so they try to actually hire some people for the start from January. And that particular of the time is really good for a small organization, because that when we work with people who said that don't just search for a job in Seek, you need to go in and find the website of the small organization, because that's the part that or most small organization, they don't have a budget to advertise or go through the recruitment agency. They try to advertise on that time.
Yeah.
And
So
before that,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yes.
So yeah, basically it's also, timing, I guess. If you advertise between August and November, so maybe you have a high chance because there's less advertising going.
Yes, because after July, still
Hmm.
organization waiting for new budget and prepare, and you know that it takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
unfortunately. They prepare the position description, advertise of that one, so it's a very long issue. I don't want to say that the is zero, but the number of available jobs, especially for different fields in IT, is very hard. For business analysts, you can find several jobs, most related to the government, if you talk. But for development or front-end development, even different with the back-end development.
And also, guys who are listening to us tonight, I'm curious to know: do you know at which month of the year you usually change a job? Have you seen have you seen any trends in your career journey that you happen to land a job in particular time? Yeah, if you notice something like this, please share in the comments. I would like to know as well. And Shawn, back to you. I guess. We're coming back to to the slides, to this journey to A to B. So um how so what's the challenges? Is the journey from not having a job to having a job is always the same, or is it really different for everyone?
Yep, that's a great question, Jana. I believe that okay, it's a journey, and because it's a journey, there is ups and downs. So it's not a straightforward path to say that I do this, and I get the job. There are a difficult part that you can see it on this slide to just show that. There are parts that we have challenges, especially, for example, uh, we apply for a job and we want to pass the stage. We call it as be invited for interview. It means that you not need to talk with recruiter or the HR professional to show that you are good to actually send your resume for hiring manager or be invited for interview. Based on these ups and downs and challenges, most of the time, unfortunately, people drop the balls. That's the actually challenge we saw. And most people think that, oh, I just need to prepare resume and click on the submit button. But in reality, there are many things must happen even before preparing your resume.
And I guess let's just go through those, the most common steps when what you need to take when you are applying for the next job.
So if we accept this is a journey, so we need to go from point A to point B. As you can see here, there are stages that we need to consider, and I just wanted to make it simple. Which, if there are two main stages, but here I divided in three parts. We want to prepare to find a job. We want to apply for a job, and we want to successfully pass the job interview to have the ideal job that we want to have. Each one of these stages are important. We cannot bypass them, and they have different challenges. They need a different strategy, especially based on the situation of the person. If the person migrates to the new country, if the graduate student is different, if the person have a lot of local experience and they want to find a job, if the person is contractor or has a permanent role to work for in an organization for a long time, and now he wants to find a job. And at the top of that, if the person wants to change the career path, for example, move from application support to the business analyst, or business analyst to project manager, and similar.
And so what's those like milestones that you need to achieve in each stage?
So if we look at each one of these stage, there are, so the goal is finding an ideal job or finding the job that we love to do. Then there are, we can come with the three main objectives if we want to just make it simple in this conversation, because a lot of things we can go and discuss. The first one we can consider as an update the career asset. What does it mean? The career asset is all the valuable stuff that we need to actually have to show the market we are the right candidate. Resume, cover letter, and profile on LinkedIn, for example, or other social media that we have. If I'm a graphist, or let's say freelancer, it can be a portfolio of the projects that I have done. So all of these, we call it as a career assets that we need to actually have them. Do we need to have all of them? Yes, in the current market, because we know that, for example, just make it simple. Most of the people, like, because when I receive, I hire a couple of people from last year so far, and just for business analysts from January, I look at the resume around the 70 people that I receive, because I'm sensitive to read all of them, and cover letter as well as the LinkedIn profile. I can easily say that 80% of them, they didn't have an updated profile on LinkedIn. So it wasn't match. Or it just copy paste of the resume in the LinkedIn. That's one challenge. Another one is that when we talk about the resume or cover letter, the cover letter, they didn't have cover letter, or they have one line in cover letter. Just one line
Yeah.
to be able to submit. This is very important for job seeker to prepare all of this. And for example, one point, adding based on the statistics, adding the URL of the LinkedIn profile in the resume increase 40-20% of the chance to invited for an interview. Because most recruiters or HR professional at the moment looking for talented people, or check the LinkedIn profile. So it's a big opportunity. Using the keywords, right keywords, is another things that is very important. One thing that I realize by working people or even hiring is that I don't know if we said that I'm lazy or something. They just prepare one resume and they submit for many jobs without considering at least using keywords. Why
Yeah.
it's important? Because imagine okay, I cannot do that, but most of the times I try. I want to find the right person. The simple way, if I don't have an ATS system to help me to find a candidate, I open the resume and search for keywords. Control F. Very simple way, which used by many recruiters. Even, for example, I want to hire project manager or front-end developer. I search for, okay, that person familiar with the Vue.js, or familiar with the UML, or type of the diagrams. It was in the job description. It wasn't in the resume. Even cover letter. It shows that that person just prepare and apply as much as that person can for any job opportunity available in the Seek or LinkedIn. that's one of the part that we actually, unfortunately, they missed the opportunity. Uh, I don't want to set for each job we need to write the resume. That's wrong. For each job, we need to have one resume. We need to update that resume by minor changes based on the job that we want to apply. However, for each job, we need to write the cover letter because most of the time, hiring manager, let's say recruiter or HR professional, they don't read cover letter, honestly,
That's
because they
actually
want.
Jason just asking this question right this moment. How long should be the cover letter? How long should be the cover letter be? And do they actually get read?
Okay, so the cover letter is one page, definitely. It must be short, it must be sweet. You want to sell yourself, so we don't want to repeat the same things from resume inside the cover letter. You want to talk about some stuff that grab the attention quickly. So it should, if I want to make it simple, one section, because we don't want to go with training about the cover letter, it takes a lot of time, but one of the key section which all the time I pay attention is that section which in, let's say, means 2 lines or maximum a short paragraph. The person mentioned that based on my understanding, you are looking for this type of the person. This small paragraph shows me that that person understands what we are looking for. So that's important. And then we provide the evidence with the numbers, especially with the related organization, with the type of the similar project, not too much, to cover that requirements inside the cover letter. So if you want to make it juicy, it's more important to show we understand the job and we have related to work. Why cover letter is important? Because when we find a couple of people, they are good, and it happens a lot, and we want to make a decision which one is better, cover letter is one of the items,
And
especially when you are applying through the agency, because they normally can submit 3 candidates for each job.
we have just a few comments from Brella that I just want to quickly bring up while we're on this topic. There was a previous question I asked in terms of when is a good time to land the job. Right now with the skill shortage, any time seems good. However, I found September, October really good, and the May, June, end of financial year using up budget, and July, August with the new budget. And also, Umbrella saying, I think cover letters are interesting. As a hiring manager, I have never read the cover letter, but perhaps HR did in order to shortlist for me. To be honest, as a recruiter, we do read the cover letters, but really briefly. For me, honestly, the cover letters that caught my attention before was the one that sounded really informal and genuine, where the person would describe a little bit of their journey and say, like, I have all of this experience, but I think I really want to push my career towards this, and have a really clear goal where they want to get. I found those cover letters been catching my attention the most. Written more like informal languages, showing personality. So that was, my subjective, I guess, opinion.
No, you're right, and one thing is very important in IT, especially when we talk, is when we write the resume and especially cover letter, we need to understand that the person who wants to read, the recruiters, it doesn't mean that even hiring manager, they are familiar with all those terms. So our technical stuff that we mentioned. So it's very important to understand, we write the cover letter for HR professional and recruiter before hiring manager. So it should be we need to try to make it balance between. So when we talk about yes, I'm using this technology for networking or this particular method, and unfortunately, most of the times people use the abbreviation rather than the whole of the words related to the concept. So it makes confusion for that person. And it's totally normal because recruiter and HR professional, they receive around 200, 180 resume for each job opportunity. They cannot sit and read all of them. So paying attention to this stuff, I think it can actually increase the chance to stand out from other candidates.
And I think, yeah, if we're talking about the high volume positions, because, yeah, depends, I guess, what position you're applying for. Yeah, we're coming back to this keywords. If it's a high volume position, and as you mentioned, the 70 candidates, sometimes it comes down to proper using these keywords. And with the recruiters, obviously, majority of recruiters using ATS, and the first thing they will do, put the keywords. Like if the recruiter getting the brief about the job, the very first thing the recruiter will do, they put keywords in ATS. And whoever like pop up first in the list will get a call. As simple as it is sometimes.
Yep, exactly. And that's a reason for that part. When we talk about the career assets, we need to actually prepare all the stuff. And I want to talk about in LinkedIn profile. It's very, very important nowadays. Not when you apply for a job, because most of the times the recruiter, HR professional, even hiring manager search for candidates, and you can be one of the people that because it's a database, we know that LinkedIn show you in the search result. That's the part that at the beginning I talk about the opportunities, and why you receive a call, you have a great certification, you have a great experience if we prepare the LinkedIn profile properly, and you can actually be invited for an interview and be successful in that role.
And
So that's the part. Yep.
Yeah. Just want to repeat, I guess, what you mentioned before, because I find it really really interesting that you mentioned about putting the link in the resume. Like, I'll definitely like it. Like, I'll definitely always click on the link if the person include LinkedIn link in the resume. 100%, I'm going to click on it. And it kind of, in a way, make me think that I know the person better. If I already see their LinkedIn profile, I can see some mutual connections and so on. So I think like I already relate to this person, like, know a bit more about the person, rather than if I'll copy and paste their name and trying to find them on LinkedIn. Because in reality, like if I'm looking for someone, I would always copy and paste their name into LinkedIn and search for LinkedIn always.
Exactly.
But if there is too many people with the same name, I'm not going to click through all these names trying to find who's this person. Or if like their name is different sometimes, like people have middle names or shortened name, and the name in the resume doesn't coincide, I'm not going to, again, click through different LinkedIn profiles trying to understand if it's this person or not. So it's a really good point, really simple and really good point about just including your LinkedIn profile link right there.
Yep. And one thing I believe I saw at least 3 times this year, they actually they put the wrong phone number or email address in the resume. So easily they miss the opportunity. So it's quick check by
Yep.
having minor check and fixing everything actually will be fine. And regardless of that, the concept of the resume, because when we talk about the resume, one thing is very important to understand. There is no golden format for resume. There is nothing to say that use this template, you have a job. We don't have this one. It's very important use the right information inside the resume. Yes, there are sections, we know that, but using the right information inside the resume is very important, as well as the size. Because when I work, for example, with the clients before that in the US, in US, we know that it's just 1 page or maximum 2 pages. More than that, you miss the job opportunity. Even 2 pages for people for hiring manager. In Australia, because people apply for overseas, and we receive 1 page, which it looks exactly that person works in Canada or US. If you go with the 1 and 2 page, you miss the opportunity. Australia looking for 3 to 3.5 pages because they want to have more. They need to see more related experience inside the document. And not more than that because people don't have a time to read. I received last year, I believe, I'm not sure, after July, a person sent me a resume. Actually, it was pamphlet, 35 pages with the photo, everything. It's 35 pages. Definitely that I don't want to hire that person. So we need to understand these simple rules because at the end, people wants to make a decision. HR professional, recruiter, or hiring manager. They don't have a time, they are busy, they need to find the right candidate, and they are looking, honestly, to find the excuse to say that this candidate is not good. I have 3 candidates, I will go with them. So these are the points that we need to pay attention.
Brella, have a question. Does LinkedIn distinguish between premium and non-premium membership when giving search results to HR recruitment? From my experience, I don't think so. I think it's more about if your profile been fully filled, like if you actually fill all the section on the profile, because you also have like this skill session and endorsement session section on the profile. So basically, your keywords need to come up a few times. Like, for example, if your keywords in the summary, maybe put the same keywords in your skills and your endorsements and so on. Because, so LinkedIn search, because the recruiter have a premium profile and they do premium search. And as more of these keywords come up, as more on the top of the list you will be. Is Shawn, do you have anything to
No,
add?
I do agree with you. That means I don't think so. There is different, but it's more related to the way that the person prepared the LinkedIn profile. One of the key strategy is using hashtag inside the content. It means that if I said that I'm an experienced business analyst, if we talk the business analyst, rather typing the business analyst as a 2 words, is a business analyst 1 word with hashtag. So it helps the LinkedIn engine, search engine, to find the person and categorize that person as the related to the concept of the business analyst. However, not too much. Not too many hashtag we need to use.
Yep, 100%. Okay, I'm just cautious about the time. I guess we can talk about obviously like resumes and LinkedIn profile for ages, but let's just try to, I guess, move forward a bit. Sure. In terms of when we actually being invited for the interview. So, what's the do's and don'ts there?
Sure. Okay, if we talk about the applying for a job to being invited for a job interview, I just mention a couple of items quickly. First of all, when we apply for a job, our work is not finished. It's still, we need to do some stuff. The main part is that you need to give a call and follow up. The chance that you can actually communicate with the recruiter or HR professional is important, especially when we talk about the type of job that they receive a lot of job opportunity. It's important people remember your name. It is important people open your resume, and because talking with you, and unfortunately most of them, they are very polite and friendly. They just look at your resume. You have a better chance in 2 minutes to explain yourself. I don't want to go to the details or strategy a lot, but it's important when you apply for a job, you follow up and talk with that person to increase your chance to be invited. And when we talk, I believe it's like what we said, a double-edged sword. That you should be careful because the way that you talk, the way you present yourself, if you cannot manage, even you have a good resume, you can miss the opportunity because that person, okay, 99% of the time, I don't want to say 100, people works based on the emotion and feeling. So if I don't have a good feeling about your voice, about you, the way that you talk, excuse me, about the level of confidence that you have, you miss the opportunity. So it's very important you sit, prepare, call in a quiet place, practice before that one rather than jump and just try to give a call quickly. But if you people can do that, the chance increase to be invited for interview and talk about the keywords in that conversation to hook and grab the attention. What do you
Yeah, and
think,
I
Anna?
guess like showing that you understand again like what exactly they're looking for, exactly what you mentioned about the cover letter. So addressing the key criteria and like showing that you understand what the person they're trying to find.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, if people do all this work, they have a better chance to be invited for an interview and they land the job that they have. However, sometimes you are doing all of this, but that job is not for you. So the first things I think it's very important to people understand in this journey is that you cannot control everything. If that job is not for you, let it go. Don't be sad. Focus on the next one. I saw many actually people that they apply cry because I missed this opportunity. That's fine. This is life. Next one. Try, learn, look at the past, write the experience, learning points, focus on the next one to be successful. Now
Yeah, and I
imagine
guess
before. Yep,
understanding that it's not you. There is so many um, other circumstances, such as maybe someone to fill this role internally, or maybe budget change, or it could be something completely unrelated to hiring process at the end of the day, and you can't really get upset about something that completely not in your control.
exactly, exactly. And then if let's say we are successful and we have job interview, so definitely we need to prepare. I'm sure that we are familiar with the concept of the job interview. However, the point I actually saw when I wanted to hire people or helping people apply for a job is that when you when the person be invited for interview, it means that they know you have some level of knowledge and expertise. They still they want to talk to you about your experience, yes. However, they want to see your personality. They want to see that your attitude, if the level of confidence, if they can put you in front of the other stakeholders, can you actually take care of the work or not. So it's more related to that feeling and the level of communication and connection, emotion that you can make create in the moment during your interview session. And all the time we talk about the first impression, which is very important. I totally agree 100%, but I believe that you need to keep that level of energy from beginning to end. And the last impression is important as well, the same as the first impression. Most people they miss this part. They think they just need to talk about their experience. They talk, and one thing I believe it's very I believe it's a question for most people, that's how much information we need to share in the job interview. uh, when
Just
I need
enough.
to stop talking. That's just enough, but uh, I believe it. I'm sure you experience. Please let me know about that one. Uh, the first question, very common question. Tell me about yourself. Even you said, "Tell me about yourself." Briefly, related to this job, the person talk. For 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. That's the problem, that people need to practice to share information just enough, as you mentioned exactly. And one important things, you need to play with the cards in your hand very well during the job interview, not at the beginning. So you don't need to share all the information at the beginning. Let's share piece by piece based on the type of question to make people, especially hiring manager, excited. It is with the respect, because I'm do the hiring man to that role. It's a battle. Okay, after that you work with them, they love you. That's a great organization, but that moment it's a battle between you and the people who attended in the job as a interviewer. You need to it is not just about them to analyze your behavior and reaction. It is the responsibility of the candidate to analyze the behavior and reaction of the interviewee to see how they actually how they think, how they react. Is that it looks like they are bored? Do I need to change my strategy? Do I need to share another piece of the experience or not?
100%. Yeah, it's about this balance, just not talking for too long, but obviously not make it like one sentence answer. And it's exactly what you said, like, like keeping some sort of information for later as well, and not just trying to spew everything in this first answer when you're asking people to tell about themselves, and they just going and going and going, starting from 10 years ago and trying, to tell the whole work history. Definitely, yes. So definitely not the case. And I think, yeah, so again, it's about you mentioned before, the preparation, thinking about what's important, the important for this hiring manager and what you need to talk about first. And then talking about other detail, because the first questions will be, majority of questions will be standard in the beginning, talking about yourself, talking about your favorite project, talking about your latest project, and so on. So yeah, keep it sharp.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely people can manage the, unfortunately we have very good and talented people with great experience, because they don't prepare the resume and cover letter properly, or they cannot manage that part in the interview, they actually miss opportunities. Because as I said, we don't train for this stuff in means a school or a university. Yes, there are some courses, but we don't take it very seriously. So if they pay attention to these items, definitely they can actually pass and ace the job interview very well. And one item I think is very important we consider is outfit. The way that we actually our clothes are if so for example, because most I work with men, but I have colleagues they work with women. The way that with the coloring of our dress, the way it's very important. We work with clients in the past, even we sit, because our goal, it wasn't that you ace the interview, the goal was you get the job. So it means different tie. We sit and said, okay, look at the different tie that the person wanted to actually wear in the job interview. Most people, they don't care. Why it's important? Because we know the tie has pattern, and the pattern when we talk can be very nice, but distract the people listen to you. So you miss the opportunity of eye contact. Sometimes the tie has color that makes you look very smart. Sometimes the tie or the color of your shirt can change your color of your skin very dark, so it looks like you don't have a lot of energy. All of these points, which we call it because we work as a psychology of the job interview, is very important when we want to ace the job interview successfully.
Yeah, the nonverbal communication, I feel like it's it's probably a topic for a whole next live stream, because I can talk about nonverbal communication for hours as well, because it's all I did when I was doing video coaching, because it's all about your background, your colors, your composition, like does your colors blend with your background? It's like millions and millions of things you can take in consideration, and especially now when you're doing it virtually, so all those things that quite
Yep.
relevant to the interview process. But okay, we have a few comments, and I'm also cautious about the time. We're already 50 minutes into our conversation, so we have 10 minutes left. Brella saying, great stuff, Shawn. Thank you for another good session. Yana, got to go. We'll catch the rest later. Jason have a question. Do recruiters mind being called directly, and what kind of things should we say on the call? It's coming back to our second point. From recruitment point, yes, recruiters don't mind to be called directly, but just don't call them every day. Just as simple as it is. It's about like balance. But yeah, if you're calling and asking, like about the progress or asking correct question about the job and so on, it's also showing that you're keen as well. So I'll definitely, like, if the person calling me and asking clarifying questions, it give me this perception that the person is interested, for sure. Unless they're calling me like a few times a day, and then I have a feeling that the person is desperate. So,
Yeah, exactly.
what do you think, Shawn?
No, 100% exactly. I believe, Jason, that first of all, that's a great question. I would like to say most recruiters, no, they are happy to actually answer the call if we don't bombard them, or because nobody likes to talk with a desperate person, as if they want to help, because if they can fill out that job with the right candidate, is good for them. So it's a two wings way that we want to talk. However, it's very important when you give a call. For example, if you want to give a call, the best time is that between 8:30, let's say 9 or before 9 o'clock, because they buy a coffee and they don't go to the first meeting. So there are some tricky time that they have a time to listen to you. You don't just want to call and talk. You just want to have an opportunity, that person sit, listen to you, open your resume, hopefully find your resume and look at that one. So the first question is you can, and it's more related to build rapport. So you need to build rapport and ask a question. I apply for this job. I'm very excited. I was wondering, have you received my resume? Because it looks like it's matched with my experience. The wording is very important, how you sell, how you build rapport and show you are excited. But one thing you need to consider when you look for a job, especially when you want to migrate to another country, it's not something that you need to wait want to apply for a job. That's the time you need to come make a connection with the recruiters on LinkedIn, start building rapport, following them, show them, try to actually use the comments so they can remember your name. So when you apply for a job, you have a better chance because they know you, and they spend more time. And it's not just about recruiters, it's about everything we know, but for this particular part.
Jason saying, I personally hate being called directly, so interesting to learn otherwise. And that's, I think, a really interesting comment, Jason, because if you think about recruiters in reality, so the recruiters usually extroverts, and recruiters the ones who call people. So they don't mind being called because that's what they do. They call people every day and talk to people. So I think it's just basically just a really simple example. If you maybe call hiring manager who like technical, they might not enjoying direct call as much. But the recruiters, the people who actually like talking usually.
Yep, 100%. Yes, so don't be shy. Call. It works. It works, but you need to make a balance. You need to prepare. You need to build rapport, make a connection, and as I said, it's all about feeling.
100%. And so just that I guess again I'm looking at the time, and it's time to, I guess, wrap up our conversation. I know we can talk for ages, and there is so many other points we can cover, but I guess Shawn, let's just summarize everything that you kind of said. And I know you also have the little advice that like your top advice that would you like to share. So please, let's just make some conclusion here.
Sure. Yep, we try. As you mentioned, we can talk for hours about this concept, each one of this area, and hopefully we could share a couple of important points. But one thing that I call it golden rules here, and I'll talk about that all the time, is never ever say lie, because saying lie destroy the trust, destroy the rapport. However, there is a but here. Never ever say a lie, but don't share all the details when they don't ask you. What does it mean? It means that even when you talk by phone with the recruiter, or especially in an interview, if I say, "Oh, that's great. You work in Agile. Have you experience working with a Scrum board?" Don't say, yes, I have, but you know that it was a small project. That was the first project. We try to do, we watch a couple of videos. Don't destroy because the details that you provide shows that, oh, yes, you have what wasn't very great. You are not sure about that. I asked you, have you experience about the Scrum? Said that, yes, we actually use a Scrum and we use this tool. If I ask, could you please tell me more and more, then you share more details. We don't want to say lie, but talking too much about something that people they don't ask and normally they will not ask destroy your opportunity. So that's a very important point. I think that save a lot of people to be successful in the finding
And
job.
yeah, and it's a good point. Usually, if some sort of tools and things is important, the hiring manager will go deeper and to the details anyway.
Yeah,
But
it's
but if it's not that important, they're not going to go into the details.
no. So, but people actually they worried about, or they want to say I have experience. So they start talking about the experience without realizing when we talk too much, there is a chance we talk about some stuff that change the mind of the person. Because we don't know how they think, we don't know how they feel that. So it's important we listen and we just share the information for them. If we see the faces, as I said, we need to analyze the face of the hiring manager or the people in the interview. If you see they are looking for more, we can ask, especially there is no problem with that one. Is that enough? Would you like to know more? Then we can actually share, but we don't need to go with all the details when they don't ask. But if
Yep,
they ask, share, and we don't lie.
definitely. Um, um, I'm just have 2 minutes, Shawn, to quickly tell everyone before I forgot that what we're doing next week. So if you have any questions left to Shawn, please put in the comment, but we'll have to take these questions offline because we obviously 2 minutes off the 2 minutes till finish. So if you're enjoying our discussion, please make sure to like this video as usual and leave your comments. Next week we're talking with Sam, and we're talking about software testing career. So if you're considering being QA or software tester, make sure to attend this session next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. And so we have 1 minute to quickly give our giveaway. So, Shawn, so what is the giveaway today? So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. One of the businesses that currently we have is insideoutskills.com, which help professional and business leader to level up their life skills. At the moment, we are working on the personal and professional branding, which is a very important, the personal brand, how you position yourself as an expert in the market. As a part of that journey and program, we have a personal branding assessment for professional who have a job and they want to actually present themselves as an expert, which I'm more than happy to have that one-on-one assessment session for which is around 45 minutes for a couple of people that you can mention for them. So hopefully it can add value.
So we definitely have obviously Jason and Brella with us today who've been actively participating. So guys, make sure to grab this giveaway to send Shawn an email. It's just on the screen now. And I also know there's a few more people who watched us but didn't ask any question live. So guys, you still have this chance. So if you reached out to me on LinkedIn or just reached out to Shawn, so you can still grab this opportunity and book this spot. So I think how many people can reach out to you? I think like you can. So we have 2 on the call, so we can take 2 more.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Let's call the 4 people. The 6 people we can actually have.
So guys, I know there's a few people also register on Meetup. So, but just been too shy to participate. So make sure, yeah. So if you still want to take this opportunity, reached out to me or reached out directly to Shawn. So thank you again so much for tonight. We already, at the 6:30 mark. So, and Snail as well. Snail, yeah, here we go. Make sure you're here as well. So make sure to send email to this email address to claim your session. Here you go. Few people here. LinkedIn or email. Email is the easiest way, Jason. So just send email directly to Shawn and he'll book you in. Perfect. Again, thank you so much, guys. Just hate being over time. I'm just have a rule that I never go over time. So again, thank you, Shawn, so much for your time. I know we can keep talking for ages about this topic. And just to finish this live stream, can you please share your favorite inspirational quote?
I shared my.
Yep, just put you on the spot,
Okay. You cannot make all people happy. Otherwise, you go and sell ice cream. That's the first things I was kid and my father actually taught me. Don't try to make all people happy. Otherwise, go and sell ice cream.
100%, guys. And I think it's directly related to the job search. You don't need to make all the people happy. Otherwise, you end up selling ice cream. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you next Wednesday
Thank
at
you
5:30.
for having me. Thanks.
Thank you, Shawn. Thank you.